The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
Some latest impressive figures about the economic growth of Georgia. The estimated real gross domestic product (GDP) growth rate in May 2022 amounted to 11.6% year-on-year and 11.2% in January-May of 2022 year-on-year. According to the National Statistics Office of Georgia, that's what Geostat reports. According to the report, in May 2022, the estimated real growth compared to the same period of the previous year was revealed in almost all sectors. Significant contributions to real GDP growth were observed in the following activities: transportation and storage, electricity, gas, steam and air conditioning supply, hotels and restaurants, manufacturing, construction, mining and quarrying. Let me now focus more on one sector, the construction sector. The latest PMC research has been out, and there are some very interesting findings that I would like to share with you really briefly. First, construction sector is among the top 5 contributors to the total GDP of Georgia and has been contributing to an average of 7.5% of GDP throughout 2016 to 2021 years. However, the real GDP growth rate in the construction sector has been negative in 2022, that was -8%, and 2021, that was around -22%. The FDI in the construction sector, following the relatively stable period, has shown a significant decline in 2019 and onwards. The employment in the construction sector has been showing a slight decline, average annual decline of 4.2% between 2016 and 2021. However, the average monthly remuneration sector has been increasing with an average growth rate of 9.3% over the same period. Throughout the 2016-2021 period, the volume of commercial bank mortgage loans issued to households showed a striking increase from that was like around 34 million lari in 2016 to already 105 million in 2021. That's a 213% growth there. The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic had a marked effect in 2020, when the number of construction permits in Georgia dropped by 11% compared to 2019. In 2020, as part of an anti-COVID economic strategy, the Georgian government introduced a mortgage subsidy program worth of 70 million lari, which alleviated the impact of the pandemic on the sector. Decline in the construction GDP in 2021 can be partially attributed to the expiration of the program in 2021. Construction costs were already increasing before the Russia-Ukraine war, largely explained by the pandemic and corresponding supply chain disruptions. Georgia's construction cost index, CCI, by Geostat, increased by 14% in fourth quarter of 2021 year on year. In the face of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, construction material input prices, which were already being impacted by the pandemic, increased further. In the first quarter of 2022, as the war started in the latter half of the quarter, CCI increased by 13% year over year. In May 2022, according to Geostat's price index for material inputs to construction industries, the prices in Georgia have increased by 19% compared to May 2021 and by 55% compared to May 2019. The rise in prices in Georgia's construction sector is related to the considerable share of construction input materials being imported to Georgia from Russia and Ukraine. More precisely, in 2021, Georgia imported 20% of iron, steel, and articles produced from those materials from Ukraine and 8% from Russia. Additionally, Georgia relies on imports of wood and wooden articles, that's 17%, as well as glass and glassware, that's 26%, and all of that from Russia. According to the BAG Index Business Association of Georgia, despite sales prices increasing in 50% of surveyed businesses in the construction sector in quarter 2 of 2022, compared to the previous quarter, the sales have also shown an increase in 40% of the businesses. In addition to that, 64% of the companies expect the sales prices and sales to increase even more in third quarter of 2022. This could be attributed to the increased demand for real estate by the rapid inflow of migrants due to the external shock of the Russia-Ukraine war and consequent sanctions imposed on Russia.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.